guys, my name is Katie and this short video is for the 11 plus test for the verbal reasoning section. So before we practice some sample questions, let's quickly take a look at what the 11 plus test is all about. So basically it's a test designed to assess whether grammar school is a suitable choice for pupils wishing to attend a grammar school, and more importantly, whether or not that choice is indeed the right choice. Okay, so basically the test has four main sections. So we have English, Maths, non-verbal reasoning and verbal reasoning. But for the purpose of this video only, I'm only going to focus on the verbal reasoning section. Okay, so let's take a look at the first sample question, so correct letters. So here we have a question that says, the same letter must be able to fit into both sets of brackets in order to complete the word in front of the bracket and begin the word after the bracket. Okay, so here we have the four words. So these two words here, the first words in each row is missing the end letter, and these two words here are missing the first letter of each word. So basically you've got to find one letter which will complete the ends of these words here and begin both of these words here. Okay, so here are your answer options. So you have W, H, Y or N. So one of these letters you can use to complete these four words. Okay, so how to work it out. So I would suggest to eliminate the most obscure answers. So okay, so let's take one letter and see whether it fits into these four words. So let's take the letter W. So let's take the word here, hap, and does it fit with the letter W at the end? So hap were. So that doesn't make a word. So we can automatically rule this letter out. So let's try the H. So hap, H. Well, again, that doesn't make a word, so we can automatically rule this one out. So let's take the Y. So you can put hap-e. So you can get a word, so you've got happy. So to make sure that you have the correct letter, let's just double check that this letter can be used for all of the other words. So here we could make yellow, we can make Y, and we can make yawn. So by ruling out some of the most obscure answers, you quickly eliminate those answers and you can find the correct answer fairly quickly. And to make sure that you have the right letter, just make sure that this letter at the end doesn't fit. So hap, and so again that doesn't make a word, so you know that the correct answer is C. So you'll be adding the Y on in order to complete each of these words. Okay, so let's have a look at another sample question. So this one is the odd one out. So here we have identify which word is the odd one out. So we have desk, shelf, cupboard, chair and wood. So one of these words is of course the odd one out, and you need to find the relationship between these words and work out which word doesn't fit in with that sequence. So this is a fairly simple question, and you should be able to realise fairly quickly that the odd one out here is answer E, which is wood. And you know this to be the odd one out because all of these four words here, so we have desk, shelf, cupboard and chair, they're all items or objects, whereas wood is a material which these four words are often made out of. So you know that this is in fact the odd one out. So they're fairly simple questions, and the more that you practice them, the easier they will become in order to identify which word is the odd one out. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. So here we have word jumbles. So in the sentence, the word outside the brackets will only go with three of the words inside the brackets in order to make a longer word. Which one word will it not go with? So here we have four words, so A, B, C, D, and we have part of a word here, and you need to work out which word that this section here doesn't go with. So in simple terms, this word will make three longer words and it won't go with one of them. So the idea is to take one word at a time. So put it with adaptable, so you get unadaptable. So again, you place it with able, so you get unable, so that makes a word. If you put this with appropriate, so you get unappropriate, which this is in fact the incorrect answer. So this one doesn't go with this because in actual fact this should be in order to make inappropriate. Unappropriate is not grammatically correct. So you now know that the word that it doesn't go with is answer C. So you know this because goes with afraid, so this would be unafraid. So answer C doesn't go with the word outside the bracket. So just remember to take each word at a time and see whether joining those two words up actually makes a real grammatically correct word. Okay, so another sample question. So here we have connect the words. So in each question there are two pairs of words. Only one of the answers will go equally well with both of these pairs. Look out for meanings of the words and other possibilities of how another word could be used in that situation. So here we have two groups of words. So we have fall and tumble and journey and outing. So the basic idea of this type of question is you need to find another word that will ultimately mean the same as this and mean the same as this. So your answer options are travel, trip, trap and drop. So take each answer option and work out whether or not that word can be applied to both groups. So remember, only one of the answer options can be used to link both of these groups. So establish the double meanings the words have and whether they can be applied to the words listed in the actual question. So can travel be applied to both of these? Well, it could mean journey or outing, but if you look at this section here, it doesn't mean fall or tumble. So again, you can rule this one out. So here we have trip. So that could mean to fall or tumble because you could trip over. And it can mean journey or outing, taking a trip somewhere, taking an outing somewhere. It means the same thing. So in actual fact, the correct answer is B. So again, you can rule out these ones by double checking that you have the correct answer. So trap, fall and tumble, journey and outing. Well, that doesn't really make much sense to both of these groups. And again, drop doesn't go with the section here, journey or outing. It doesn't mean the same thing. So therefore, we know that the correct answer is trip. Okay, so let's move on to another sample question. So this is complete the sentence. So again, this is complete the following sentence. So the mechanic worked on the car for 3 hours. At the end of the 3 hours, he was, and you need to work out what the missing word is there. So the answer options available are home, rich, exhausted, or thinking. So remember to eliminate the most obscure answers, and you can do this by reading the sentence out loud and seeing whether the sentence makes sense with the word that you choose. So let's take the first word. So the mechanic worked on the car for 3 hours. At the end of the 3 hours, he was home. Well, that doesn't really make that much sense. So let's take answer option B. So the mechanic worked on the car for 3 hours. At the end of the 3 hours, he was rich. Well, yeah, he might be rich, but again, it doesn't really make that much sense. So let's see if another word fits better. So here we have exhausted. The mechanic worked on the car for 3 hours. At the end of the 3 hours, he was exhausted. So here you can tell that this does make sense. If he's been working on the car for 3 hours, you could assume that he will be exhausted. So in actual fact, the correct answer is C. And let's see if we do have the correct answer by ruling this one out. So if the mechanic worked on the car for 3 hours. At the end of the 3 hours, he was thinking. Well, that doesn't really make that much sense. You know that the correct answer is answer C. So remember, read out the sentence out loud and see whether or not it reads effectively and correctly. Okay, so let's have a look at another sample question. So we have word families. So pick out the word in the sequence that links all the words together. So we have trousers, clothing, shirt, and skirt. So this is a fairly obvious question. So you need to work out which word can group all of the other words to form a word family. So for this question in particular, clothing, answer B, links all of the other words. So trousers, shirt and skirt are all types of clothing. So the correct answer is B, because this word, clothing, links all of the other words. So the importance of this question is to work out how the other words can be linked and how it can be made as a word family. So you've got to work out what word refers to all of the other words shown. Okay, so next we have compound words. So in each of the following questions, find the two words, one from each group, that together makes a new real word. So the word from the group on the left always comes first. So here we have man, bend, sauce, tomato, pan, den. So remember to eliminate the most obscure answers, and let's take one part of this at a time. So if we take man, because you know that on the left needs to come first in the new word. So man, tomato, well that doesn't make a word. Man, pan, nope. Man, den, nope. So let's take bend. Bend, tomato, nope. Bend, pan, nope. Bend, den, no. So let's take sauce. Sauce, tomato, well no, that doesn't make a word. Sauce, pan, well yes, that does make a new word. So you now know that if you take sauce and you take pan, it will make the new word of saucepan. So remember, the key to this question is to look for the left section first, because it's always going to come first in the new word. So here we've got sauce in this left group of words. So it's going to come first in the new answer. So just pay attention to that and then work through to see if you can make a new word. Okay, so next we have the alphabet patterns. So in each of the following questions, find the letters that best complete the series. The alphabet has been provided to assist you. So here we have the alphabet, and we have PW. This is the one you're trying to find out. XO, BK, FG, JC. And here are your answer options. So you need to work out the relationship between each of the letters in order to work out how the sequence is progressing. Now, the first letter in each group, if we take this one here because it shows you more so you can work out what pattern is happening, is adding 4 each time. So from X to B is adding 4. And you know this because when it reaches the end, which would be Z, it starts back up at the beginning of the alphabet. So it's adding 4. So B to F. So you have B, C, D, E, F. From F to J, you're adding 4 again. So F, G, H, I, J. So you know that this letter in here needs to be 4 letters from the P, which starts the overall sequence. So P, Q, R, S, T. So you know that the first part of this word here has to start with a T. So you can automatically rule out answer B and C because you know that it's got to start with a T. So let's take the second part of each group, and you should be able to notice that it's subtracting 4 letters of the alphabet each time. So from O to K, it's subtracting 4. From K to G, it's subtracting 4. From G to C, it's subtracting 4. So the easiest way to work out the missing one here is to work backwards in the sequence and add 4, because if you're working this way and it's minusing, you will need to add if you're working this way. So from O, so you have Q, R, S, N, N, O, P, Q, R, S. So you know that that has to be an S. So therefore the first part of this is T and the second part is S. You now know that the correct answer is A. So just remember, take one part of the groups at a time and work out the relationship of each group and see how the sequence is progressing, and then do the same thing for the second part of each group. Okay, so now we have hidden words. So determine where the hidden 4-letter word is in the sequence. So I need ice cold drinks during the summertime. So the basis of this question is you need to find the 4-letter hidden word which will form the end of one word and the beginning of a new word. So in this example in particular, you need to pay attention to need and ice. So if we take a look at here, this actually makes the word dice, because you're taking the letter here of the word need and you can use it to put together the word dice. So therefore it's important for these types of questions that you focus on how you can make a new word by using 2 words that are placed side by side and determining where you can make that new word. Okay, so that completes our verbal reasoning section of the 11 plus, and by now you should have a good understanding of the types of questions you can expect during the 11 plus assessment. And you can get free access to more testing questions by clicking on the link below this video. And you can also visit our website at www.howtobecome.com, whereby we have a Kent test that will contain hundreds of sample questions for you to work through. So all that's left for me to do is say thank you for listening, and I hope this has helped for your 11 plus assessment.